Hello YouTube, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. We have a question here that was posed to YouTube more than 5,400 times in YouTube search. The question is, am I entitled to a severance package? All right, here's the deal. There is no federal law that I'm aware of that entitles anyone to a severance package. However, there can be some ways that you are, in fact, entitled to a severance package. First and foremost, I need to note that there's 50 different states in the U.S., lots of different jurisdictions. In addition to that, there's a whole bunch of locales, cities with their own laws and such. It is possible that where you are, you might be due a severance package. Check with local counsel, right? I can't know the laws of every state. I can't know the laws of every city in this fine country. So check with local counsel. Now, that being said, generally what you're looking at here is if there's a company policy that grants you a severance package, you might be due a severance package. Another way you might be due a severance package is if your contract with your employer provides for one. If that's a contractual term in your contract with your employer, and most employees in the U.S. are not subject to a contract. Most are at-will employees, but it doesn't mean you're not subject to a contract. You could be. You could be part of the percentage of workers in the U.S., which is relatively low, who work under a contract. And if there's a severance package in your contract, then you could potentially be due a severance package. Now, lastly, some special work arrangements, like if you're working in a union, which is subject to a collective bargaining agreement, a CBA, it is possible for a CBA, a collective bargaining agreement, to provide severance terms for you under its strictures. That is entirely possible. Lastly, some government and municipal workers might have terms within their employment that guarantee them a severance of some kind in certain situations. I can't tell you if you do specifically, but I can tell you it's possible. So with all these circumstances, check them out. Have a conversation with local counsel. Schedule a free consultation. Find out your rights. Find out what you're due. Bring a copy of your employment contract. Bring a copy of your collective bargaining agreement, right? Bring a copy of any document that you feel might grant you the right to a severance package. And those local attorneys, they're going to be familiar with your state and local laws as well. You can have a conversation about your rights under state and local law. Hopefully, that attorney will do that for you free of charge, because it sounds like if you're searching YouTube for am I entitled to a severance package, it's a good chance you've just been fired. And that sucks. It always sucks. I'm sorry. Sorry you have to deal with this. But I hope this video helps. If it does, like, subscribe, comment down below, share our channel. It helps us grow. It helps us answer more questions for folks just like you. Take care.